everybody, 'tis the Amazing Gaming Guy here, and welcome back to Planet Coaster. I am continuing my Dueling Dragons build, and this will be the penultimate episode in this series. I know last time I was saying that this series could go on for quite a long time, but I've sort of reached a point where I'm kind of happy with it, actually. I did a load of stuff off camera because I just wanted to speed it along a little bit, and it was stuff that I've done a lot of anyway, stuff like placing rocks and things, and things that you don't need to see again, really. It was just bringing the sort of landscape together and sort of finishing off some areas. It wasn't anything drastically different. But I've got myself to a point where I'm sort of happy to call this pretty much done. So this will be the penultimate episode. There'll be one more after this where I'll be completing the station and finishing off the queue lines and stuff, and then putting the sign outside the ride and confirming the winner of the naming of this coaster. You know, I've been asking you guys to come up with names for these two coasters, and next week in the final episode I'll be putting the sign outside the ride that says it's named this, you know, and it will be one of your names. So there's still time to send me your suggestions if you have any more. I'm not going to read any out today because I'll read them all out next time in the last episode and choose a winner. So you've still got time to get some more ideas in, to tell me what you think this ride should be called. Remember, it's red coaster and gold coaster, and I want a name for both, or just you know, both of them together, or whatever. It's entirely up to you, and it can be dragon themed or it could not be dragon themed. Again, up to you. So into the build. What we're doing this week, I've started off by building this sort of this water spout sort of thing, this almost like a volcano of water. I was looking at loads and loads of reference pictures and videos and stuff of theme parks and rides from all over the world. And I can't remember what ride did this, but there was a ride that had these sort of water spout things that looked quite cool, and I thought I'd sort of replicate that idea here as part of my sort of natural seasons sort of theming that I've been going for on this ride, because I could have gone down two routes with this ride. I could have made it very dragony with lots of fire and sort of, I don't know, like lava and stuff, and made it very typical sort of dragony, if you know what I mean, or I could have done something a little bit different, and that's what I've really tried to do. I've tried to make it a natural sort of journey. You know, these two forces are fighting throughout the world, throughout the environment of this sort of Japanese place, rather than it being about them. It's about the path they take, you know. So I thought that would be sort of a fun and original way to make this ride work. So I've decided to go for more sort of water and stuff than fire and that sort of thing. Although, having said that, you'll see a little bit later, there's a little bit of fire. I couldn't resist making coasters that I'm calling Dueling Dragons without a little bit of flames. So you'll see that a little bit later on in this video. So here I'm just finishing off the queue line for the red coaster, I think, because obviously there's two queue lines, and one of them passes along the side of the ride, and one of them sort of goes around and does its own little thing, its own little route, and I wanted these two queue lines to sort of intersect at this point. What would have been really great is if I could have actually merged the queue lines and made it so you start queuing in one place and then it splits off into the two different rides. That would have been really cool, but that is not a feature. That is not a thing that I can do in this game, so I had to abandon that idea. But I had them come to the same sort of area. They both come down into these steps, and yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle to get these steps how I wanted them. I had to really play with the landscape and change the scenery a little bit, and played with the elevation quite a lot. But yeah, as you can see, I just managed to connect them up right in the same point there, and I was happy with that. Now, while I have a little bit of time in this video, I just wanted to thank you guys for something. I've just hit some 2 little milestones on my channel, and I didn't want to do anything big or special for them because I've done a lot of that in the past. I've done my sort of 500 sub special and my 1000 sub special and stuff, and I didn't want to do that for these milestones, but I will do things like that in the future for bigger milestones. But yeah, I wanted to thank you guys because I've just hit 2,000 subscribers at the time of recording this, and 200,000 views, which I know that's not crazy in terms of, you know, people on YouTube, but for me, I never thought I could do that, really. That is nearly 250,000 views. And I don't know how many people that would be, because obviously some people might view more than once and that sort of thing, but you know, it's near enough 250,000 people. And I can't believe that, really. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. You know, nearly 250,000 people have listened to my voice and watched these videos and watched the things I've made. Okay, it's not exactly 250,000. 200,000 isn't 250,000, but it's not too far off. And yeah. That's just crazy to me. So thank you guys, thank you so much for that, and I really hope that you're enjoying all these things that I'm making, and I hope that's why you've subscribed and that you keep coming back, or if this is your first video, then welcome. And I hope that you enjoy it, and please do subscribe if you do. Yeah, that blew me away a little bit, so thank you so much for that. So yeah, I'm just continuing to build this sort of natural area here. I wanted them to really duck between some some hills, sort of mountains, have another one of these big water spout jet mountain things, and I wanted some sort of water sort of coming down the sides of this one as well, and really sort of cascading down past the ride, and I filled this area with a little bit of water as well. And did some terrain brushing, changing the colour and stuff, put down some dry leaves and things, because I think it looks cool. And you'll see in a little bit as well, or did I do that in this video? I might have done that after this, at some point, on that water spout that I've just built. I put a ride trigger in the top of it as well, so when the coasters come past, there's a big spout of water, like a big water eruption, like a geyser or something, which is kind of cool. I don't think I do that in this video, but you will see that at some point, probably next video. So I'm just going around and putting in some trees and things as well, really bringing the landscape together, making it nice and natural and beautiful, using it's a variety of trees, but I've been careful to pick which trees I use. So I've been using these red emperor trees, and there's 2 types of red trees I've been using, and those yellow trees, and then birch trees, and I think ash trees perhaps as well, and that's the sort of range of trees that I've limited myself to, because they seem to be the most appropriate for this sort of cultural environment, like a physical environment, I guess, because they've got quite a lot of colour. They're quite nice. The beech trees are nice deep green, and obviously the red trees are bright red and stuff. They seem to work quite well. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with my my tree selection. And then I've just come over here and I was just going to build the start of the sort of entrance gates to the ride. And I say the start because I've not progressed with or finished these because I want to do that when I put the actual name of the ride up there next time. Now, I've also been taking a lot of time to think about how people will move through this area. I really want them to go to certain places and collect in certain places and congregate in certain places, and I really wanted this area to be one of those places. So you can see I've just copied and pasted these shops from down by the flat ride that I built in that valley quite a while ago. Because I really liked this little building that I built for these shops. I thought it would work really well here, and I want this to be an area where there'll be lots of people sitting around, there'll be lots of people walking around, there'll be people buying things and eating and drinking, and you'll see in a little bit as well, I put in some places where entertainers could go, like the Gulpy dinosaur that you saw at the beginning of this video, and I also put the sort of tiki mascot in. I know neither of those are particularly Japanese in sort of culture, but the Gulpy dinosaur sort of represents the dragon ideas, and the tiki thing because I don't know, he's got lots of fire and stuff, and it's kind of like a sort of kabuki sort of thing as well. So well, near enough. I don't know if that's offensive or not. I don't think so. I'm acknowledging that it's not from Japanese culture, the tiki thing, but I think it can represent something that is, basically. And it's the closest I can do in this game. So yeah, fire! You can see my fire. I am building some little pillars that I want this fire to shoot out of in this area, and I want that to be a sort of triggerable ride event. So that when the coasters come through these loops here, the fire will blast, and some other things will happen as well. There'll be some sort of flashing lights and things, and it'll really sort of illuminate this area and make it quite a spectacle to see these coasters going through this area, and all of these lights and stuff flashing. It'd be very, very cool. I hope. That is the intention. And I really want this to be sort of an event area as well. So I've put the that star sort of platform there, which is a I don't know what they call it, like an entertainment point or something, where an entertainer will stand and remain there if you tell them to. If you sort of target that as their work location, they'll stay at that area instead of sort of roaming about randomly. And you can also make routes and things for entertainers if you've not played this game before and you've just watched the videos. You can tell entertainers to go between certain things, like between a number of shops and rides and things, or you can just let them roam free, go wherever they want. And to add a little bit of realism to this area, I'm also creating some structures to put some speakers and lights onto, some sort of rig structures out of these wooden posts. So you'll see I'm going to put some speakers on the side ones, and then on the back I'm going to put a range of coloured and then non-coloured as well spotlights and some extra speakers as well. And I have applied music to all of the speakers in this area. Unfortunately, you can't hear any of that because it is not non-copyright. I can't put it on YouTube. That music's more for my own personal enjoyment in this area. But it's very similar to what you're listening to right now. This is non-commercial music that you're listening to. Oh well, it's not non-commercial. It's I've paid a license for all the music that you hear in these videos. But yeah, I did not use music that I'm allowed to use in a video in that area, so you can't hear it, and you will never hear it. Sorry about that, but it's very similar to this, so just imagine it's like this. Yeah, and then I wanted to light up the the sort of loops themselves. And I experimented with the colours a little bit, and I think I decided that I wanted the gold coaster to be lit up in red and the red coaster to be lit up in gold, just to balance them out a little bit. And you can see now I'm just going around and I'm going to put some entertainers in these areas just to finish it off, and to attract people to come to these areas and enjoy the scenery and the sights and the places. And Gulpy Dinosaur was not going where I told him to, so I had to pick him up and move him over here again, despite the fact that I told him to go to that place. I don't know, he didn't want to do it. I'm also going to put in the sort of tiki mascot, which is kind of representing a kabuki sort of thing. And I decided you should roam in this sort of platform area between the two show points that you can see in this area, so it attracts people to the ride up there and then around the area as well. So yeah, that's it. That's just about all we have time for today. I hope that you'll join me for the very last episode next week. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.